Alright, good morning, YouTube. We are going to get into our verses, which I only have 3 today, because I only read 1 page. So I'm gonna get into the verses, then I'm gonna get into the quotes, and then I'm gonna get into the 5 pages of notes, of trading notes that I read, and then I will get into my personal development journey and talk about that for a little bit. Alright. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked, when cometh. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. I wish I had something to say about the Bible verses after I read them, but it's like, those are just the ones that resonated with me the most. Like, those are the ones that stuck out to me. Oh. Alright, here comes the quotes. During times of adversity and discomfort, a conscious man becomes more conscious. During times of adversity and discomfort, an unconscious man becomes more unconscious. The way that the unconscious man becomes more unconscious is because every time he deals with a struggle in his life, he just gives in to his vices, and it dampens his brain. Like weed, for example, it just dampens his brain. Alcohol, it, I don't know. I mean, you're just giving into something that's not really you. That's the way that I view it. Your frequency is what you frequently see, and I'm not saying just because you might do vices, but that's not. I'm not considering you an unconscious man. Your frequency is what you frequently see. Life is not about appearing and acquiring; it's about being and becoming. You don't need to be great to start, but you need to start to be great. A goal without a plan is just a desire. Growth is not linear. Always put your take profit at the closed candle and not the wick. Growth is when we are constantly looking at what we are doing wrong. To know what not to do is not to know. Acquire what you admire. Never make the same mistake twice. Learn from your mistakes. Your body is a vessel to better the mind. There is no struggle. If there is no struggle, there is no growth. If you ever feel the slightest urge or reason to not take a trade, do not take it. Do not fall for FOMO, and FOMO is fear of missing out. The only way to grow is through failure. How can you show up for your job or vices every single day, but you can't even show up for yourself? The only way to grow is through failure. Create the man that you admire and give that man to the world. Gratitude opens the door to infinite intelligence. The sacrifice creates the paradise. Gratitude kicks down the door to higher intelligence. Pros operate from commitment. Amateurs operate from feelers. Confidence is the byproduct of consistent implementation. Inaction creates fear and doubt. How you do anything is how you do everything. Fancy fails and simple scales. You ain't got an addiction problem, you have a discipline problem. Learn one skill at a time and master it, and then move on to the next. When you are learning a new skill, you should put all your eggs in one basket. Trading is long term. Focus on building the skill and everything else will come with it. Results come from doing hard work consistently every single day. The world is not as it is, the world is as you are. What is hard is almost all the time what is right. Discomfort should be your green light. You shouldn't be chasing success. Seek to be valuable, and success will chase you. What you feel what the world is withholding from you is what you are withholding from the world. Fatigue is the best pillow. Wes Watson is in his flow state when he is just gifting everything that has worked for him in his life. The role models are the ones that enact change. Take more pride in the consistency rather than the results. Never feel pressured to take a trade. How you do anything is how you do everything. Live a hard life and life will be easy. Live an easy life and life will be hard. I believe you should have a 90% purpose, 10% pleasure lifestyle. Purpose is the pleasure. Quotes are the wisdom of the ages. If you want it, you will find a way. If you don't, you will find an excuse. Through high repetition, we gain strength. Repetition is strength. In order to be a disciplined trader, you must be a disciplined person in your life first. There are two ways to exercise strength in this life, pushing people down or lifting others up. If we lift each other up, we will make it much further in life. You get to know yourself through accountability and pain. Redirect your pain into something positive or the pain will eat you up. Don't follow money, follow your vision. The man that has the most amount of wisdom is the man that has made the most amount of mistakes. I take pride in waking up early consistently. I want to say that's it for the quotes. And now on to the day trading segment. Alright, I'm going to try my absolute best to explain what I'm talking about in these next 5 notes. And then I'll talk about my personal development and what's going on in my life. Things you should know about entering into the market. Seems like there's just 5 things on this page, and I'm going to read them. The 4-hour trend, that is what our bias is for the day. Whatever the 4-hour trend is, so if 4 hours is breaking highs, we are looking on a lower time frame for price to sweep lows and then continue its trend. The 1-hour trend determines what time frame we scale down to. If it's in line with the 4-hour, okay, if the 1 hour is bullish and breaking highs with the 4-hour, then we scale down to the 5-minute. If the 1 hour is breaking lows, the 1 hour time frame is breaking lows and the 4 hours breaking highs, then we scale down to the 15-minute time frame. And the reason that is because higher time frame holds higher power. So you're going to be risking more if you go down to the 5 minutes. So you want to have more probability, more of a chance to win. So you want to make sure the 15-minute and the 1 hour and the 4 hour are in line with each other to make sure whenever you trade on the 5-minute. But if they're not in alignment with each other, then you trade on the 15-minute. You need a high time frame liquidity sweep, either a 1 hour or a 4 hour. Let scale to whatever the time frame, the 1 hour time frame lets us, and look for a break of structure and then third confluence. I'm gonna read this again. Scale to whatever time frame the 1 hour lets us and look for a break of structure and then look for your third confluence. And for the third confluence, you're going to be looking for an order block, for a value gap, breaker block, and equilibrium. And the first confluence would be a liquidity sweep, and the second confluence would be a break of structure, and that confirms that the orders were filled, and then you wait for price to re-enter in one of the 4 tools, the confluences. So the breaker block, the equilibrium, fair value gap, order block. Wait for price to re-enter after the liquidity sweep and breaker structure to make sure orders were refilled, and then it'll continue back up, or in whatever direction the market's going. Once third confluence gets hit, if we are on the 5-minute, we can scale down into the 1 minute and wait for a breaker structure to enter. If we are on the 15-minute, we can scale to the 5-minute and enter off break of structure. Rewatch day 24 tomorrow. Okay. The process is everything when it comes to personal development. Trading is not about the money at all. It has nothing to do with money at all. Traders that take trades, people that make money, make money. If the 4 hour is bullish and the 1 hour is bearish, we look for buys on the 15-minute because high time frame holds higher power. Treat the 4 hour and 1 hour as our buys. Look at the 4 hour trend and 1 hour trend. Bias is based on 4 hour trend. If the 4 hour is in an uptrend, we are bullish. If in a downtrend, we are bearish. Look at the 1 hour trend. If the 1 hour trend is in line with the 4 hour trend, we can execute on the 5-minute time frame. If the 1 hour is in an opposite trend than the 4 hour trend, we have to execute on a higher time frame, the 15-minute. What are our execution points? First, liquidity sweep, break of structure. And we're only looking for a liquidity sweep on the 1 hour and 4 hour. Then we're looking for a break of structure on the 5-minute or the 15-minute, based off of the alignment of the 1 hour and the 4 hour. Find trend highs and lows and wait for the lows to be hit on a uptrend, or wait for the highs to be hit on a downtrend. Well, on an uptrend, right, we want price to keep going up, right? And that's about the only way that you can predict the market is whenever price is on an uptrend or on a trend in general. So prices breaking highs and making higher highs and higher lows. So price to continue, okay, and to prevent people from making money in the market that don't know what they're doing, price will come down fast and stop people out at lows, and then continue back up. And that's where we want to enter in. We want to enter after price has already swept the lows in a lot of people out, because that's how we know orders were filled. If these lows or highs are not hit, then we sit on our hands and do nothing. We just take no trade that day until they are hit and swept. Until these points have been swept, mark up every low or high that can be swept on the 1 hour or 4 hour. Once both of these have happened, a 1 hour or 4 hour liquidity sweep and a break of structure, we are then looking for our third confluence, which is our order block, fair value gap, breaker block, equilibrium. Waiting for either a order block, fair value gap, breaker block, or equilibrium to be hit, we need to see buying or selling pressure in order to execute. We do not need to wait for another break of structure when the third confluence gets hit. We just need to see buying/selling pressure out of that confluence. When you see pressure of a candle coming out of the third confluence, that is when you execute. This is the base of your strategy. When a 4 hour is bearish and 1 hour is bullish, you look for buys because higher time frame equals higher power. So mark up lows and wait for them to get swept. Do not do anything until they are swept. Whenever they are swept, wait for break of structure on a 15-minute time frame. In this example, then wait for the third confluence. After it gets hit, then wait for buying/selling pressure out of it, then execute. By the way, this is the strategy that I practice. To find the trend on the 4 hour, look for recent break of structure to the overall trend. TJR only holds his trades for 1 to 4 hours, so So I suggest that people trade the same way if you're using this strategy. Fair value gaps can be found or formed after a break of structure in a liquidity sweep. When the buying slash selling pressure happens out of the third confluence, wait for the candle close to happen before executing. The candle close needs to be outside of the confluence, the third confluence. Wait for the candle close out of the confluence, not just letting the wick candle or the wick of the candle uh, only come out of the confluence. Our daily bias is made off of the 4-hour trend. And the daily bias is basically what direction we think the market is going to go in for the next 4 hours. That's why we're making our daily bias based off of the 4 hour, because we're only trading for like a total of 2 to 4 hours. It's a short opening compared to the 24 hours of the day. When we are bearish for the day, we are looking for highs to be swept. When we are bullish for the day, we are looking for lows to be swept. Every time you're marking up a chart, find every confluence you possibly can use, because you can use them to your advantage. You might as well, you can use them to predict the market direction just by putting a box where the confluence is at, just so you can visually see it better. To enter off the third confluence, the candle can simply wick through the confluence and have the closed candle be out of the confluence to execute. But the candle must close out of the confluence to execute, because if the candle just does not close through the confluence, but if it closes outside of it and it wicks through it, that's perfectly fine, because that shows that price filled orders for like a small second whenever it went through that confluence, and then it went back down or back through the confluence and then closed outside of it. When bearish on the daily bias, mark up the highs and wait for them to be swept. When bullish on the daily bias, mark up the lows and wait for them to be swept. On the third confluence, the wick can fill the confluence, then close out of it, then you can execute. When finding the bias on the 1 hour and 4 hour, just look at what highs and lows are being broken most recently. That's all you do to find the bias for the 4 hour. Okay, on to the next clip. This is a segment where I just talk. Well, I feel like it's clear that I'm not filled with energy, but I'm still here. I still woke up. The crazy thing is, I still actually got decent sleep. I went to bed right about like 10, 11 o'clock last night. 10:30 to 11 o'clock. But I still feel absolutely thrashed. I did 300 decline push-ups yesterday. I did 200 squats. I did 500 sit-ups. I did 500 crunches, and I did 50 laps around the house, which was, I think, only 3 miles. I did 15 sprints, 15 110 meter sprints. And for the abs, for the first set of sit-ups, I had to do 150 straight. And then for the last set, I had 251 crunches left to do, and that was the last thing I had to do, for all the things that I just mentioned. And I knocked out all 251 crunches in one set. And that was the hardest I've ever pushed myself in my entire life. ready to get back home today, get some good sleep, and start it all over again. I just know I need sleep and I need some food. The crazy thing is, the way that I'm feeling right now, today I gotta walk 30 miles. 30 miles. After that, I think I'll be pretty good. Well, appreciate y'all listening, and y'all have a beautiful day. Thank you.